Been asked by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. An online guest registry is available at www.washburndorsey.com. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of the arrangements for Lawson Gamble. Robert Jenkins passed away on Sunday, March the 6th. Arrangements are still incomplete and will be asked by Crow's Mortuary. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory Services is in charge of the arrangements for Robert Jenkins. Glenn Shin III, 72, of Forest City, passed away yesterday at his home. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Paget and King. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Glenn Shin III. Reverend Ralph Boyd Jr., age 80, of Ballstick, passed away on Monday at Willow Ridge. He was born in Henderson County. Funeral services will be at 2 o'clock tomorrow at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow at the Spindale Fellowship Holiness Cemetery. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services is in charge of the arrangements for Ralph W. Boyd, Jr. Judy Hodge, 68, of Rutherfordton, passed away on Tuesday at hospice. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 on Friday at Southern Baptist Church. Funeral services will be at Southern Baptist Church starting at 3 o'clock on Friday. Burial will be in the Southern Baptist Church Cemetery. Matt Mahan's Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements for Judy Hodge. Garland Byers Sr., age 90, of Forest City, passed away on Tuesday at his home. Funeral services will be at 11 o'clock on Saturday at the Caroline United Methodist Church. Burial will follow in the Byers Family Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 Friday evening at the funeral home. Those are the local arrangements for Garland Byers Sr. Chuck Brotzman, 68, of Ballstick, passed away on Saturday. A family-directed memorial service will be held at 11 o'clock on Saturday at the barn. The Rutherford County Honor Guard will render military rites outside the church following the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of the arrangements for Charles Brotzman. Robert Harold Waslevek, longtime resident of Florida, passed away at his daughter's home in Mooresboro. No formal services will be held. Harrelson Funeral Home has been entrusted with the arrangements. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services is in charge of the arrangements for Robert Harold Waslevek. Lynn Lucas, 70, passed away on Thursday, March the 10th. No formal services will be held. Those are the local arrangements for Lynn Lucas. Mary Stevens passed away on March the 11th. All services for Mary will be private. Matt Mahan's Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements for Mary Stevens. James Washburn passed away on March the 11th. No services will be held. Crow's Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements for James Washburn. Alan Reynolds, 88, of Spindale, passed away March the 13th. Washburn and Dorsey is in charge of the arrangements for Alan Reynolds. Frederick Schoolcraft, 68, of Ellenboro, passed away on Friday, March the 11th. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is in charge of the arrangements, and there will be no formal services at this time. Eggers Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements for Frederick Owen Schoolcraft.
O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. If you are stuck in a timeshare, please call my friends at Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee to get you out with a specified time frame given to you in writing. They have helped thousands of unhappy timeshare owners over the past decade. Family owned, their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. So please call for a no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Wednesday, always keep in mind that people believe what they want to believe. Therefore, in a free society, lots of crazy stuff circulates around, and some of us buy it. Let's look at Ukraine. Some Americans are convinced that a no-fly zone should be imposed on Russian planes flying over that beleaguered country. But who would enforce the no-fly zone? and shoot at Russian planes that violated it. NATO countries? I don't know one that would sign up for that. So it would be left to the U.S. Air Force to engage in combat with Russian MiGs. Does that sound like World War III? I believe so. What about flying fighter jets into Ukraine so their pilots can fight the MiGs? Well, Poland could do that easily, but it doesn't want to because it fears Putin. The Poles suggest they fly the planes to a U.S. airbase in Germany and then Americans fly them into Ukraine. Sound good to you? Here's a kicker. Russian pilots would quickly shoot down all combat planes as well as blow them to pieces as they wait to take off. The air war would be over quickly. Ukrainian pilots cannot compete with Russian pilots. We live in a country where pundits on TV say all kinds of crazy stuff, and they are well paid to do it because people believe what they want to believe. Now this. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Although it wasn't a relationship most people would expect, Kingfisher and Ben Thompson were friends. The reason their friendship was unusual was that both men were hard cases. Kingfisher dressed in a flamboyant style. He wore a gold-braided sombrero, silk shirts, and gold-embroidered vests. His chaps were made of Bengal tiger skin. He didn't get the tiger from a safari, but on a raid on a circus. Fisher traded in cattle. He took cattle that he had stolen in the United States to Mexico and traded them for cattle that had been stolen in Mexico. And the buyers didn't care as long as they were stolen in the other country. Ben Thompson's reputation wasn't much better. Ben didn't care on which side of the law he walked as long as he could intimidate people. Sensing the opportunity for a good fight, he even went to Mexico and joined Maximilian as a mercenary, rising to the rank of colonel. Ben Thompson had also spent time as the city marshal of Austin, Texas. These two hotheads met up in San Antonio on March 10, 1884, and decided to have an evening out. While partying, they ended up going to the Vaudeville Variety Theater. Maybe because of too many drinks or advancing age, Ben Thompson evidently didn't remember that a couple of years earlier he had killed the proprietor of that establishment. Within minutes of their arrival, 4 of the dead man's friends, including the bartender and one of the actors, opened fire. Ben Thompson ended up with 9 slugs in him, and his friend Kingfisher had 13. It was a tough night out for the boys. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. And now, the new beer-battered fish sandwich. All come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Coming up on 16 minutes
Congratulations to
past
Jesse
7
James
o'clock,
Railroad
and it's time to
Express,
start the
voted
call-around portion of our morning
2021
report.
Best of
We always
Rutherford
start with
County
the
hot
Sheriff's
dogs
Department,
and hamburgers
and
5 years in a row.
I haven't been able to speak to him for a while, and I owe him a congratulations. Congratulations, Sergeant Brandel.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on your promotion.
Hey, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. What you got to report this morning?
Past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has answered 127 calls, processed 15 arrests, and currently have 177 incarcerated. Under our arrest reports, we have Brian Kevin Cole, Jr., 21-year-old white male, Bostic, was charged with resisting an officer, breaking and entering, and failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $10,000 secured bond. We have a Julie Miranda Glenn, 41-year-old white female, Far City, was charged with possession of firearm by felon, possession, drug paraphernalia, given a $10,000 unsecured bond. We have a Ryan Kimball, 37-year-old black male, Mooresboro, was charged with one count of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver, Schedule 1, carrying a concealed weapon, and possession, drug paraphernalia. Possession of firearm by felon, manufacturing Schedule 2, and possession of controlled substance inside of a jail. He was given a $30,000 secured bond. We have a Candy Ferry, 28-year-old white female, Mill Springs, was charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, 3 counts, given a $1,000 secured bond. We have a Adam Kenneth McGinnis, 41-year-old white male, Spindale, charged with violation of a release order and possession of a controlled substance inside of a jail, given a $20,000 secured bond. We have a Franklin Davis Jr., 59-year-old black male, Far City, charged with assault on female, given a $1,000 secured bond. We have a Trey Alexander Green, 20-year-old white male, Rutherford, charged with 1 count of failure to appear on a misdemeanor, given a written promise on that. Andy Green, 53-year-old white male of Ellenboro, charged with misdemeanor stalking, injury to personal property, second-degree trespass, given a no bond on that. We have a Benjamin Ray Sprouse, 33-year-old white male of Mooresboro, charged with 2 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 unsecured bond. We have a Portia Hill, 30-year-old black female of Far City, charged 2 counts of failure to appear on misdemeanor, given a $500 unsecured bond. We have a Devontae Hill, 29-year-old black male, Rutherford, charged with 2 counts of felony probation violation, given a $30,000 secured bond. And we have a Sarah Lynn Toms, 30-year-old white female of Henrietta, charged with failure to appear on a felony, given a $10,000 secured bond. Under our incidents, we have a Mark Hudson from Bostic, reported a breaking and entering larceny. Looks like someone broke in, stealing a metal box containing some sort of item. We have a Scott Holbrook, Old Ross Road, Far City, reported a breaking and entering and larceny. Looks like someone broke in and took some couple guns from the residence. We have a Damian Bond from Hudlow Road, Far City, reported a felony larceny. Looks like he reported a 14-karat gold nugget bracelet stolen. We have a Brian Walker from Duncans Creek Road, Ellenboro, reported damage to personal property. Looks like someone busted the windshield of a vehicle out. We have the Yogi Bear Park in Bostic, reported felony larceny. Looks like 3 TVs and 1 bed mattress was taken from one of their rental cabins. We have a Bobby Jean Davis from Bostic, reported a theft of motor vehicle parts. Looks like converter and maybe some steering wheels were taken. We have a David Godfrey, Byers Road, Far City, reported a financial card fraud. Looks like someone used $400 off of his EBT card. We have a Brian Connor from Parker Jameson Lane, Rutherford, reported a breaking and entering. Looks like some pending inventory from that B&E's at this time. We have a Kevin Marlowe, Free Will Baptist Church Road, Ballstick, reported misdemeanor larceny. Looks like someone took a chainsaw and a backpack blower from that incident. And that's all we have for you this morning.
That almost sounds like a weekend report.
It really does. It really does. Maybe that's all of it for the next couple of days.
Hope so. Hope you have a good day today. And again, congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you very much. You take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there.
And we had to 911 to get their report. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. What you got to report this morning?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 427 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 48 for the emergency medical services, 127 for the Sheriff's Office, 56 for Forest City, 2 for Lake Lure, 36 for Rutherfordton, and 40 for Spindale. Cliffside Fire Department had a motor vehicle crash, Forest City had a motor vehicle crash, and Sandy Mush had a fire alarm, and that is all.
You ever want to give up 911? I got a job for you over here.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Amanda.
You too.
Bye-bye. Well, let me introduce you to Brock Family Care. They are a direct primary care practice that takes care of the patient and not the insurance company, providing flat rate pricing and not accepting any forms of health insurance allows for more than personalized and affordable health care. And Brock has over 42 years of healthcare experience, 22 years as a nurse practitioner. She and her staff are dedicated to providing health care that is patient-centered, not insurance company dictated. They give the patient the time and attention they need. What are your medical needs? Bring them to Brock Family Care and see the difference. And also offers the telehealth appointments. The professional staff are always dedicated and will take the time to find out how they can help you. To learn more about this wonderful medical practice, go to their website at www.brockfamilycare.com. Brock Family Care, 289 Shallow Road in Forest City. We're in the SDO area with Ruby Taylor. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm okay.
Good. What you got to report this morning?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar I've got Mickey Mosley and Jerry Ficklin having birthdays, and Miss Keith Ezel's having an anniversary. I hope all these people have a nice day, and the signs are in the mails today and tomorrow. Lou, that's all I got.
All righty, Ruby. You have a good day, and we'll talk to you in the morning.
You too.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale. 26 minutes past 7 o'clock. 50 degrees under cloudy, rainy skies. And checking in with Gary Wilson this morning. Morning, Gary.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. Getting a little bit of rain up here. Started in the last couple hours. Light rain so far, but we'll be wet most of the day, sounds like.
Yeah, heavy rain and thunderstorms tonight.
Yeah, that's what they're calling for. But it's been quiet up here overnight. We got a peaceful 24 hours. I think Bill Cook had one call, and we didn't have anything the last 24 hours, so I'm pretty quiet up here. About 50 degrees this morning, cloudy and overcast, and light rain, and everything quiet in the neighborhood. So not a whole lot going on up here this morning.
All righty, Gary. Well, you have a good day, and we'll talk to you in the morning.
All right, talk to you then.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Now we're checking with DeVern this morning. Good morning, DeVern.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm okay.
Good. What's happening in your end of town, county?
Well, we have 50 degrees over here this morning in Boston. The fire department had no calls, but we do want to thank our firefighters for all they do for us here in Boston. Don't forget our Blessed Box that's located on Depot Street there. Stop by and leave a blessing or pick up a blessing. And check out Boston Florist for your flower arrangements. And don't forget, Rick Strickland will be at Faith Baptist Church there in Forest City Sunday the 20th at 11 o'clock. And then the 26th there at Faith Baptist Church will be giving groceries away at 8 a.m. And hope everyone has a wonderful day.
I'm seeing a lot of those blessed boxes going up in a lot of different places. Usually they were near a church. Now I'm seeing them in a lot of different places.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Which
and
is
they
good.
do help people.
Yeah, they do. I see a lot of people pulling up, loading them up. I loaded up the one next to my house the other day.
Okay.
And it
now
was
where do you live?
In Spindale, beside the community worship center.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Or the Methodist Church. Theirs is closed, so I can get out, step out of the car and fill it up. So I hit either one of those.
Oh, that's good. That is good.
So you have a good day, and we'll
You
talk to you in the
too.
morning.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's a new month, and a new crop of scratch-offs are ready to harvest. These tickets are fresh off the vine and plump with prizes. Oh yeah, smells like a winner to me. So come on down. Your freshest chances to win in an instant are ready with new scratch-offs like 200 times the cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Kinda gives cash crop a whole new meaning. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.90. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
And it's time to head to Mount Vernon and see what my bud's doing. What you doing, Bob?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, Cousin Lou.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I tell you what, look like we might get some rain showers today.
I started out of the house and it had just started. Just a few little drops. The car had a few. Not even enough to even make a dent in the pollen. But after I got here, it started good.
It probably will last a while. But, Lou, up here with the fire department, we hadn't had any fire calls overnight. So far this morning, things are going along good up here. Want to say happy wedding anniversary to Warren and Darren Sprouts today. And also, Piedmont Pleasant Hill Clubhouse is having a spaghetti and salad bar supper coming up this Saturday even. And that starts at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. $8 for adults, 6 to 12, $4, and 5 and under free. And Lou, that's about it up here on this here hot day morning.
Boy, Warren and Dara, they have been married a long time.
Yeah, they have. They sure have there, but they have some nice kids there too. There.
Yes, they do.
They've really grown up. I saw one of them the other day. I said, "My goodness, she's really got grown." I remember, seemed like ain't no time they this little there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Well, Lou, you take care now, and I hope you have a good day.
You too, Bob. Stay out of the rain.
All right, I will.
Alrighty.
I ain't gonna melt. We ain't gonna melt, Lou.
No. And even if it did, it wouldn't hurt me much.
Okay, you have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
And we head to Cherry Mountain, check in with Sue Price this morning. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Lou.
How are you this morning?
I'm okay. Hope you are.
I am.
Well, good. It's a little bit cloudy over here this morning, so I guess we don't get
rain not made your way yet?
I can't tell if it's raining yet. I can't. It's still not quite bright enough out there for me to tell. But it's cloudy. I guess it's going to start any time. That's all right.
Yeah, we need it.
I know. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department, and the only birthday I have is on my first broad calendar, and it's for Janie Sanders, so I hope Janie will have a good day today. And in my announcements, there will be a candidate for Sheriff. Aaron Ellenberg will be at the Golden Valley Community Clubhouse Saturday, March the 19th from 9 to 11 for a meet and greet time. And then on the 20th, March the 20th, Spring Revival starts at Fairview Baptist Church, the 11 a.m. service, and then the 6:30 p.m. Then Monday through Wednesday, it will start at 7 p.m. And they'll be serving a meal at 5:45 each night. And the visiting speaker is Reverend Sam Henderson. So, good revival coming up at Fairview. And then the Golden Valley Community Club will be sponsoring a forum for the candidates on Saturday, April 2nd. Beginning at 3 p.m., and everyone's invited to come out and meet the candidates. And so far, that's the only announcements I have. It's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Lou.
You too, Sue. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you in the morning.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
25 minutes before 8 o'clock and 50 degrees, rain, and it's time to check in with Tina. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, Lou, on this wonderful wet Wednesday.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good.
It's my type of day, Lou. I like the rainy days.
I do too when I'm at home in bed and go back to sleep.
Well, up here in Shingle Hollow this morning, there have been no calls for the fire department. They've been all quiet. We are very thankful for that. And the last time I checked the thermometer, it said 50 degrees, and I was surprised. Let me double check. Yeah, it's still sitting on 50. No announcements from the churches today. We do have a birthday on Pilgrim Way Baptist Church. Aaron Harris has a birthday today. And I have a very important birthday in my family today. It's my Uncle Larry Hunt. So if you know Larry Hunt or Aaron Harris, tell them happy birthday today. And White House Community Clubhouse asked me to announce the country breakfast coming up on the 26th. That's next Saturday. They have all-you-can-eat breakfast. It's a country buffet breakfast from 7 to 10 a.m. And this time they're having a bake sale. Some ladies in the community have made cakes and cookies and stuff, and they're going to be selling that too. And on April the 9th, the White House Community Clubhouse is having an Easter egg hunt from 10 to 12, and there will be pictures with the Easter Bunny. So they have a lot of activities going on at the White House Community Clubhouse, and they want everyone to know they're invited and to please come. That's all I got, Lou.
It's hard to believe it's already almost Easter.
I know. Time flies.
It does, doesn't it?
Flies. I never would have dreamed that it just goes by so fast. I could not get everything done that I want to do.
And when we change the time, when we run the clock forward an hour, I'm chasing my tail like a cat, trying to catch up.
I feel different. I think it's the older we get, the more it affects us.
Yeah, but leave it the other way. I'm sitting there like, well, what am I going to do now? But when we run the clock forward, I can't get caught up again. I don't know. I guess it's just, I think it's all in my mind.
That's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's all the same time. It's just they move it.
Yeah. Wish I'd leave it alone.
I think maybe that's coming up in the future. If we all just pray for that, maybe that prayer will be answered for us.
Well, if I remember right, the whole idea behind it was so farmers that work could do their farms. Well, guess what? Farm tractors have headlights on them now, so they don't need it. I mean, they can do it well, never mind. I can say all I want to. They still ain't going to listen to me.
I heard it was golfers, so all you golfers out there that are hearing me.
People like Jim Bishop.
Yeah, is he golfing this week? Well, he won't be golfing today.
Not today, but yeah, he plays golf some.
So he may like the time switching back and forth.
Yeah.
But I just think, well, can't they get up a little earlier or go to bed a little later or go with the sun?
Yeah. Now, OA Fish, he is every Wednesday. He's out on that golf course. But he plays in the daytime, so it wouldn't affect him at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that OA has been having some back trouble, so he may not be out there golfing well today because it's raining anyway, but he had asked for some prayers for his back. So everybody who's listening, say a little prayer for OA Fish that his back heals up nicely for him.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah. Well, Tina, you have a good day today. We'll talk to you in the morning.
You too, Lou, and have a wonderful wet Wednesday. Everybody stay safe.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled ARYEE.
Well, it's time to travel up on Kelly Mountain. Not Candy Mountain, but Kelly Mountain. Morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you? You sound mighty happy this morning.
Well, I got my caffeine in, and
so you're doing good.
I'm doing good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. y'all talking about the time. It don't matter if they set it up, if they set it back, or what. They ain't but 24 hours in a day.
I know.
And I'm like you. I wish they'd just pick one time and leave it, whether it be daylight saving time or standard time. Just pick one and leave it. I don't like changing either. It takes me forever. It messes and I don't sleep good anyway. It messes my sleep up.
I don't sleep good either.
It's awful. I think the older we get, well, I don't know that I was going to say we don't sleep good, but I ain't never slept good. It's just, I don't know.
I've always been a light sleeper.
Me too.
And I have to have a fan going to drown out. I cannot sleep where it's dead quiet. I've got to have a fan on to make some noise.
I used to sleep with a fan. When I married Donald, he used to work third shift, and he slept with a fan, and I got used to it. But about, 4 or 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with dry eyes, and they told me not to never run a fan in my room. That was one of the worst things you could do for dry eyes. So I don't sleep with a fan now.
Even if it's not pointed at you? I mean, even if it's just like facing the door just to give you the
They
noise?
told me not to even have it in the room. I said, I've slept with a fan. I can't remember how many years it was in. It was 40-something. And I said, I won't be able to sleep. And they told me to set it out where I could hear it, but set it out like in the hallway or something.
Yeah. I was looking at one of those noise machines, one of those that sounds like rain, you know?
Yeah.
But I figured it might make me have to get up and go to the bathroom a lot during the night.
We can't win for losing, can we?
No, we can't.
Well, let's see. I've got 46 degrees on the front porch. I've got one birthday today. That's Johnny Daddle. I announced it last month on the 16th, but somebody called and told me it was wrong, that it was March the 16th. So I hope I finally got it right, but I hope Johnny has a good birthday. And then ways of announcements Friday, March 18th, Carly. That's a hard word for me to say. I got a niece that's Callie, and then I got a granddaughter that's Carly, and sometimes it's hard for me to say these names. But she'll be performing at 7 p.m. at the Union Mills Learning Center on the 18th, and she will be performing some music from her new album. All music programs are free, no admission. Tip jar is available for the band. And then we got a spaghetti supper at the Piedmont Pleasant Hill Clubhouse. This is Saturday the 19th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the cost is $8 for adults. Kids 12 to 6 is $4, and 5 and under eat for free. And so far, that's all I got going on that I know of.
Well, I just realized this is March the 16th, and if my daddy had lived, Mom and Daddy would have been married 65 years today.
Oh, my goodness. Well, and how long's your daddy been dead?
He passed away in 2012.
I remember Jim announcing that when he died, but I couldn't remember how long it had been. So this year he'll be 12. He'll be dead 10 years this year, won't he?
No, wait a minute. Wait. I'm wrong. It's 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's already, 12,
Yeah.
9, 19, 20, 20. He's been dead 13 years.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that, but as time gets by with us, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, it does.
It's like Tina said, it flies.
That it does.
But I guess you better go check on Luther, Sweet Thing, Gilligan, see if things is all right in Edinburgh.
Now, I hope they are.
Okay, you have a good day.
You too. Talk to you in the morning.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Well, we've gone from the Sheriff's Department, 911, Cherry Mountain, Kelly Mountain, and now we're in Ellenboro. Last stop. Good morning, Luther.
Save the best for last.
No, that's what they always say.
That's what I say. Now, hey, we're having a good time down here this morning, drinking coffee, waiting on the rain.
It's already been
The
here.
days are coming.
It's been here. It's been here since 7 o'clock this morning.
No, we haven't got any here yet.
Well,
Maybe
it's
sprinkle,
it's
but other
coming
than
your
that,
way.
nothing going on.
I'm sending it your
But
way.
it's coming. There's heavy. But it's quiet this morning, not a whole lot going on. See, fire department there had 2 medical calls, 1 fire investigation yesterday. Other than that, they've been quiet, nothing going on with them. So, Lou, you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you next time.
All righty, Luther. Take care. Be careful.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye. Remember, coming up at 8:30 this morning, we have the Word of Faith program. And then coming up on Thursday, we've got Tar Heel basketball as the Tar Heels play in the NCAA tournament. They got a decent hour, 3 o'clock for that countdown to tip-off. Pre-game will be at 3:30, 4:30 tip-off as they face Marquette. Now, if the Tar Heels win tomorrow, on Saturday, they'll play either Norfolk State or Baylor, but we don't know what time yet. So if the Tar Heels win on Thursday, they will play Saturday, Norfolk State or Baylor. And you can hear those games right here on WCAB. If you've got a birthday or anniversary, go ahead and get it called in now, 287-3356. Todd's sneezing, but give him just a second, and he'll be ready to take your call, 287-3356. Get your birthdays and anniversaries called in. Hey, folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse-quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Want a good breakfast? Well, stop by Granny B's. They've got biscuits, your choice of ham, bacon, sausage, or liver mush, and you can add egg or cheese to your biscuit. They also have sausage, gravy, and biscuits, hash browns, and they have a breakfast plate. Anything, any way you want it. And get that delicious coffee. They've got a lot of different coffees, flavored coffees. Granny B's, they opened at 6:30, and they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 6:30 for breakfast. And then, of course, throughout the day, you get those delicious sub sandwiches. Or I finally tried a salad. And that salad, 3 people could have eaten it. And it was fantastic. Granny B's, call your order in to go at 286-9012.
Happy birthday.
Well, I want to wish a very happy anniversary to my cousin, Warren Sprouse. Warren and Dara Sprouse celebrating a wedding anniversary today. Warren works at the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department. Michelle Bridges is 57 today. Michelle lives in Dobbinsville. Jim and Michelle Bridges are also celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary today. Jody Franklin and Buffy Elliott, they're twins, celebrating a birthday today. Martha Crane, celebrating a birthday today. Sarah Jo Harrell, she will be 91 tomorrow. So happy birthday to Sarah Jo Harrell tomorrow. And today is National Everything You Do Is Right Day. And the National Freedom of Information Day. That's wrong. And birthdays today, 1751, James Madison, though he was the 4th president of the United States in 1836. Born in 1926, Jerry Lewis. He passed away in 2017. Remember, he always had those Labor Day marathons for muscular dystrophy. 1940, Chuck Woolery. He was a game show host. He was crazy, wasn't he, Todd? 1949, Eric Estrada was born, and he made that Chips uniform look good. 1954, Nancy Wilson, singer from Heart. And then the events. In 1802, the first U.S. military academy was established, and it was called West Point. Now you know who has a birthday, and now you know all the important things going on around our area.
There's a story told about William Penn by H.V. Lutt. Penn, who was well liked and respected by the Indians, wanted to acquire some property. The Indians told him that he could have as much of their land as he could encompass on foot in a single day. The terrain Penn walked on was not a nice, cleared, level path like our city park trails or paved streets. The ground was uneven and rough. Penn was up bright and early. He walked all day and far into the night. When he went to claim his land, the Indians were rather astonished that he actually took them at their word. However, they fulfilled their part of the agreement and gave him the land that he had walked. Today, that parcel of property is part of the city of Philadelphia. Belief, trust, honesty, integrity are all present in our illustration today. All these points are hopefully present in our interactions with other people. When we are able to believe and trust in the honesty and integrity of others, and they in us, our world is a better place in which to live and do business. Commitment to our honesty and integrity is vital, even if it costs us. To know that we can be trusted speaks volumes to others. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Transcripts for today's Key to Confident Living are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
Well, to all of the folks joining us as we are streaming, we're going to have to take a break. Going to play some music, but we'll be right back at 8 o'clock with ABC News, some news, and then the Word of Faith program at 8:30. So, folks on our streamer, see you in just a few minutes.
Addresses Congress in about an hour from now. He'll make a plea again for a no-fly zone, something that the U.S. has said will widen the war. Here's what Ukraine will get from the U.S.
President Biden expected to announce $800 million in new military assistance to Ukraine, $1 billion total in new aid expected to be announced this week. This new assistance includes weapons that Ukrainians have been requesting. Secretary of State Antony Blinken also announcing the U.S. will provide an additional $186 million in humanitarian assistance to support Ukrainians displaced by Russia's war, both those in the country and those who have fled. Inez Delaquatera, ABC News, Rzeszów, Poland.
The capital, Kyiv, once again under siege by Russian aerial strikes. Negotiations will continue today between Ukraine and Russia. Both sides hopeful a realistic compromise could come soon.
Ukrainian President Zelensky says Russia's latest demands are, quote, more realistic, but he did not elaborate and said patience is needed. Zelensky posting the update early Wednesday from Kyiv just hours after a U.S. official told ABC News Russian forces intend to hit the capital city with indiscriminate bombing, saying there are more worries about Zelensky's safety.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert. The Federal Reserve said it would raise interest rates at its monthly meeting today, but by how much? ABC's Andy Field.
It's a lot like spinning a roulette wheel. The Federal Reserve gambling where their interest rate hike should land. Market watchers expect a 0.25% point jump after several years of no rate hikes. And then where will it end? Some analysts think a series of moves will reach a rate of around 2.25% by the end of the year. Too high, they say, risks another recession.
Pyongyang, we have a problem. Officials in South Korea say a missile test by the North failed soon after liftoff. The failed launch marks North Korea's 10th missile test this year. The Senate Tuesday evening on a unanimous voice vote approving making daylight saving time permanent starting next year. Still needs House approval. You're listening to ABC News.
Stress. It never seems to end when you owe money to the IRS. What about the years of unfiled tax returns? Have you tried another tax service and gotten nowhere? Then you need Tax Alliance. Why? Years of being A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau with no consumer complaints sets them apart. Call 800-987-1097. That's 800-987-1097. Don't wait until the IRS attacks your wages, bank account, your home or pension, and even your Social Security check. Tax Alliance specializes in IRS tax relief programs, including the Fresh Start Initiative, which can finally free yourself from IRS debt. Their tax professionals can file returns, fight the IRS to substantially lower your IRS debt, or possibly even have it forgiven. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes, have unfiled tax returns, or have a payment plan and are still frustrated, call 800-987-1097. That's 800-987-1097.
Tax Alliance, your tax resolution solution.
New help on the way from Washington for the country's historically black colleges and universities after a string of recent bomb threats. More than a third of them have been threatened in the last 3 months, and now the Biden administration is making grants available to help pay for emergency response and security. Road rage on the rise in Florida. ABC's Lionel Moise has the story from Miami.
In the pandemic, a spike in road rage incidents.
Road rage is the third leading cause of death nationally when we talk about and look at car-related fatalities. This is now real life, fast and furious.
Debbie Goodman, a criminologist at St. Thomas University, says data from Bankrate.com shows Florida leading the nation in road rage cases involving a gun, with a 31% increase from 2020. She says no matter how frustrating, if you notice bad behavior on the road, you should avoid eye contact and try not to further provoke the situation. Lionel Moise, ABC News, Miami.
Getting underway today, the fraud trial of the former chief operating officer of failed blood testing company Theranos. Sunny Balwani is also the ex-boyfriend of founder Elizabeth Holmes, who was convicted in January on 4 counts of criminal fraud. And Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers signing a deal making him the highest paid player in NFL history. ESPN says the contract is essentially a 3-year deal for about $150 million. This is ABC News.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
Lou Gillum in the Blue Room. Your forecast today is going to be cloudy with rain. Highs around 60 degrees. Cloudy tonight. Maybe a chance of some thunderstorms. Lows around 50. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Still a chance of rain, with tomorrow's highs around 70. Partly cloudy overnight. Lows around 50. Friday, partly cloudy. Scattered showers. Highs again around 70. Partly cloudy overnight. Showers. Lows around 50. Saturday, sunshine. Highs around 70. Overnight lows around 40. That's your forecast. 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton. And Sunday and Monday are looking nice. Sunshine both days with daytime highs around 70, overnight lows around 40 degrees. Right now we've got clouds and light showers in the area, 50 degrees right now at WCAB. And it's time to check in with Wayne's Lunchbox and see what's on the menu for today. Got Wayne on the phone. Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. Just getting everything ready to go this morning.
Well, you know, I know I'm a little behind on getting this to you, but we got our Thanksgiving dinner from your place, and I'll tell you, your broccoli and cheese casserole just about did not make it to lunch, because by the time we got it home heated up, it was almost gone.
It's ready to go.
Oh.
That's probably, between that and the macaroni and cheese, I guess that's two of my most popular vegetables, especially that time of year too. So, and we've done that, you know, ever since I was over at the cafeteria. We do the Thanksgiving dinners and stuff. So I'm sure we'll continue that tradition again this year. But broccoli casserole is definitely one of our favorites, so it's a good one to have.
Now, if you're wanting to have something special, can you order the broccoli and cheese? Like maybe
Yeah,
on
we have.
Easter?
Yeah, we have a lot of people. I've already had some people asking me some stuff about Easter. I just don't know exactly what we're going to have yet. I mean, some people's asked me, you know, when they could pick it up, and I just don't know, because Easter's one of those things that, you know, I want to give my staff off, and I just feel like it's one of those holidays that you need to take off. So
yeah.
I'm not quite sure, but if they wanted to get it like during the week, like, you know, maybe that Friday or something, it would still be good. Because everything would be raw, and then of course you could just put it in your pan like we always do, and then y'all cook it on Sunday. So we've had a few people call, so we'll see what happens during that week, which it's coming up pretty quick. So we'll have more information about that coming up soon.
Okay. What else is on the menu?
Well, today you got chicken pie. It's Wednesday. We always do chicken pie on Wednesday. It's one of my best sellers, and as a matter of fact, we're having broccoli casserole today with the chicken pie. So that's two of my favorites. When it's, you know, cold and rainy out like it is today, chicken pie is always a good thing to have. So we've always got that. Then our usual today, we got hamburger steaks, fried flounder, chicken tenders. We always run baked ham. Our specialty sandwich today, we run a hot ham and cheese croissant, which is really good. And then we have a patty melt. You get basically a cheeseburger on grilled Texas toast with some grilled onions. Pretty hard to beat that too.
That does sound good. When you were over at the other place in Forest City, we came over one Sunday, and my nephew came up from, at that time he was living in Spartanburg. He was going to nursing school and working at Spartanburg Hospital. And he came up, we were having lunch, and I'd gotten fried chicken. And I stuck my fork into that chicken, and juice squirted all over everybody around the table. That was the best chicken.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like the chicken. Well, we fry chicken every once in a while. We do what we call a big chicken wing every once in a while, and it's just a real big chicken sandwich that we hand breaded and fry. But we do our chicken tenders like that. I mean, I feel like our chicken tenders are as good as anywhere you can get them, because we get the tenders in, you know, marinate them in the buttermilk, and then we fry them to order pretty much. And we go through quite a few chicken tenders. So it's not the chicken breast, but it's the next best thing. Some people cook them so hard that they're too crunchy, and I don't like it. I want a chicken tender. Right, yeah, like tender, yes. And a lot of that has to do with people cooking in the grease too high. You know, a lot of people, you know, they can't take the time or don't want to take the time and bread their own chicken tenders. So a lot of people get chicken tenders that are already breaded, and that's fine if that's what you do. But they can tend to get hard quicker because of the hot temperature of the grease and this, that, and the other. So that's one thing that we take pride in, and we bred our own chicken tenders. So it's a lot better product, I feel.
And your hours are?
Monday through Friday from 11 to 2. You can come by and call it in. Come by and hang out with us outside, which today is not a good day to do that, but any other day you can come outside and sit out there underneath our little canopy that we have set up, and or either call it in ahead of time. We'll have it ready when you get there.
And today is broccoli and cheese day. And folks, if you don't like broccoli and cheese, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to like broccoli and cheese after you eat his broccoli and cheese. It is delicious.
Yeah, the broccoli casserole is definitely one of the favorites, especially going with chicken pie today. So I'm sure we'll sell a good bit of it today. I hope so anyway. Everybody just come out. If you hadn't tried it, come by and check it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, anything else?
That's it. Just, look at our Facebook page. I put my specials up every day. If you have a Facebook, it's under Wayne's Lunchbox. We put it on there every day, what we're running, the specials, and have some things coming up. So just, if you have anything like that, if you got any kind of catering or anything, please give us a call and let us give you a quote on that, and we can do pretty much anything with the catering. So just come by and check us out. If you hadn't had time to, make time and come by and have some good lunch today.
And a broccoli casserole. God, okay. I'm sold. I get off a little earlier today. I'm sold. I'll be there.
There you go. We'll have your order ready.
All righty. You have a good one. We'll talk to you again.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Being free means your connection goes where you go, from local favorites to faraway places. And with our Better Than Free event at Carolina West Wireless, you can save over $1,000 on our most popular smartphones with an eligible trade-in and when you bring your own number. Or take home a free Samsung Galaxy A12 smartphone and get an additional $150 in credits when you switch. Celebrate the freedom to take your service anywhere with a Better Than Free deal from Carolina West Wireless. Certain restrictions apply. See representative for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Well, taking a look at some news, it's 12 minutes past 8 o'clock from some of our news sources. The Daily Courier is reporting that an Ellenboro man died in a crash in South Carolina. An Ellenboro man died in an early Saturday morning crash outside a fast food restaurant. Victor Sean Twitty, age 50, of Odessa Park Road, was in the drive-thru at the Hardee's on Chesney Highway when he suddenly sped away, crossing the highway before coming to rest, according to Rusty Clevenger, coroner for the Spartanburg County. The South Carolina Highway Patrol reported to WYFF News that Twitty struck two curbs and a fence in the 6:42 a.m. single vehicle crash. It's unclear if Twitty suffered a medical event at the time of the incident. Plans called for a forensic examination, and those reports have not been released yet. The Highway Patrol, however, continues to investigate the cause of the crash. Well, Richie Garland, at the meeting of the Rutherford County Board of Education, was recognized for recently winning 7 awards for excellence in the school public relations. The North Carolina School Public Relations Association held its annual Blue Ribbon Awards celebration on February the 11th, during which 37 school systems were honored in 8 categories, including marketing, digital media engagement, electronic media, excellence in writing, publications, image and graphic design, photography, and special events programs. Garland won a total of 7 awards: Camp Innovate, Mission, Space, Silver Award, Icon Awards, Silver, RCS Welcome Back Music Video, Best of the Best Overall Award, Gold Award, Ready Teddy Kindergarten Countdown, Gold Award, Teach for RCS, Gold Award, Are You Ready? Parent Guide, Gold Award. Rutherford County School System Superintendent David Sutton called Garland's accomplishments outstanding. So congratulations to Richie Garland. Well, Duke Energy provided grants to nonprofits in Rutherford County. Duke Energy announced that they are proud to support the Rutherford County Library Society and their project to provide a bookmobile for residents in the county. The bookmobile will benefit both adults and children, targeting child care centers, public housing areas, nursing homes, as well as households where homebound patrons reside. They received a $4,000 grant to be used to purchase STEM supplies for the new bookmobile. Congratulations to April Young, Library Director, for the work she and her team are doing to promote reading and STEM education in Rutherford County. Also, an $8,000 grant to the Rutherford Outdoor Coalition to support their work in improving water quality on the Broad River in Rutherford County. The group organizes regular river sweeps, and their volunteers maintain new and existing access points, removing down trees and other debris that decrease the usability of the waterway. A major goal for the Rutherford Outdoor Coalition is ensuring that the river is free from obstruction, is safe and clean for all to enjoy. They also work to increase the ability and skills of beginner paddlers. Thanks to Jerry Stensland and his team for all they do to promote beautiful outdoors in Rutherford County. The Broad River Solar Facility is now operational in southwestern Cleveland County. The 50-megawatt project has about 170,000 solar panels on 500 acres near Duke Energy's Rogers Energy Complex. The facility will produce enough renewable energy each year to power approximately 12,500 homes. The company is planning a formal ribbon cutting at the facility in May. Also, cold temperatures can mean higher bills for customers, with many still recovering from the economic impact of the pandemic. Providing assistance to the vulnerable customers has been very important. That's where Share the Light Fund comes in, formerly known as Share the Warmth. This robust fund makes it easier for customers to give and receive help, and you can find out what agencies near you provide aid. Share the Light Fund /Duke Energy. And since we're talking about Duke Energy, I know a lot of you have seen roads blocked, new power poles going up. Have you ever wondered what Duke Energy does with those old power poles? Well, more than 90% are recycled annually, reducing the amount of wood waste that goes into the landfill. And you can check out more on Duke's website. We'll have that sheriff's report right after this.
Hi, my name is Sam Fender, a retired local police officer. I met Theo several years ago at Bible study. His friendship led me to discover Theo's wealth of experience as a state trooper in problem solving, along with compassion towards those he served. After retiring from the patrol, Theo served as a federal air marshal. When he saw corruption, he fought the federal government and won his whistleblower case. Theo has met with many of you and understands your concerns. His approach to problem solving is professional, accountable, and exactly what Rutherford County needs in a sheriff. Vote for Theo May 17th.
Paid for by Steve Theodoropoulos, Republican for sheriff.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates, wanting to let you know that we have moved. Our new office is located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City. Come see us for auto, home, or your commercial insurance needs. Also, come see me, Dwayne Hunt, for your Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, or prescription drug plans. See us at Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call 828-245-5301.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid-19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines at Smith's Drugs of Forest City. Well, the Forest City Police Department needs your help desperately in solving a shooting on March the 9th. At approximately 10 p.m. on March the 9th, the police department responded to an area, 376 Dogwood Lane, in reference to a shooting. Officers were notified that a 16-year-old male was currently in the hospital being treated for multiple gunshot wounds. Through the investigation, officers found that the shooting occurred in the roadway driveway at 376 Dogwood Lane. Now, the juvenile was struck 3 times, was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Witnesses stated that the suspect vehicle was possibly a gray or silver 4-door car. Forest City detectives are requesting assistance from the community with this incident. Now, the name is not being released due to the age of the victim. If you do have any information, contact Detective Dylan Radford at 245-5555, the Communications Center at 286-2911. You can call the tips line. And remember, you do not have to give your name. And Forest City is still asking for help because they have exhausted all of their leads in finding Donnie Dover. Donnie's been missing since Saturday, January the 15th. Now, he was last seen getting into a blue SUV with an unknown male at around 6 p.m. at the Speedway at 523 West Main Street in Forest City. He weighs about 175 pounds, white male, 5'11", 44 years of age. If you know where Donnie Dover may have any information where Donnie may be, please contact Detective Chris Hopper at Forest City at 245-5555, or again, the Communications Center at 286-2911. And the weekly COVID report in Rutherford County since last Tuesday, there have been 43 additional positive cases in Rutherford County and 3 deaths due to COVID since last Tuesday. Well, some of you in some areas may be noticing that the gas prices are down. As I left here yesterday, gas at the top of Central High Hill was $4.19 a gallon. As I came through this morning, it was down to $3.99 per gallon. So as you ride around the area, you may see some gas prices dropping. Well, the North Carolina's Unemployment Benefits Office failed to distribute quickly enough $438 million in initial payments to displaced workers in 2020 and early 2021, state auditors said on Monday while scrutinizing the agency's work on the pandemic. The audit in part blamed the claims process and poor monitoring for the delays. It's well known that the Division of Employment Security struggled in 2020 to get payments out the door promptly. The division saw a record number of applicants for traditional unemployment programs and those created by the federal and state government during the lockdown and related business restrictions. The state unemployment rate reached 13.5% in April and May of 2020. The performance audit quantifies those delays of initial benefits covering all of 2020 and the first quarter of 2021 that failed to be issued within 14 or 21 days of an individual's filing for claims. Benefit money comes from the state and federal sources, depending on the program. State Auditor Beth Wood's office found only 60% of the $3.67 million initial payments across 8 programs valued at $1.2 billion were sent within the federal government standards for timelines. And 32% of the first payments, totaling $342 million, were not issued within 30 days, the report said. The delays came amid news reports of, quote, unemployed individuals who depleted their savings, went into debt, and were unable to pay their daily living expenses, unquote, the audit said. Early delays amid the onslaught of claims contributed to Governor Roy Cooper's replacing the division's chief with former state representative Pryor Gibson. Program complaints have generally decreased as benefits are loosened, temporary programs expired, and applications fell as the economy recovered. In all, $11.6 billion in unemployment benefits were issued during the 15-month period reviewed. Coronavirus lockdowns began in March 2020. Despite the unprecedented rise in benefit claims during the pandemic, the division wasn't prepared.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The first two of the first four have been decided in the NCAA men's basketball tournament with a couple of games last night in Dayton. Bryson Etienne scored 21 points as Texas Southern beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi 76-67. Cowboys forward John Walker III, how's that for a Texas name? He had 16 points off the bench. He talked about Little Texas Southern earning their third NCAA tournament bid in 5 seasons.
I feel like anybody can go to any big school. We're men just like them. We put our shoes on just like them, pants, shirt. So, I mean, it's March Madness, so madness can happen.
Texas Southern will next face Midwest top seed Kansas. Indiana beat turnover-prone Wyoming 66-58 in last night's Game 2 in Dayton. The 12-seeded Hoosiers in the tournament for the first time in 6 years will next face East Region 5th seed St. Mary's. Tonight it's Wright State versus Bryant, followed by Notre Dame and Rutgers. Then the round of 64 begins with Carolina playing in Fort Worth against Marquette in the East Region. That happening tomorrow afternoon. Yesterday, talking with the press, head coach Hubert Davis was asked, players are saying he seems a little bit more dialed in, but he says, no, that's not the case. And then hilarity ensued.
I'm locked in all the time. There's no more locked inness. Either you're locked in or you're not locked in. I don't know. I'm more locked in. Maybe he's listening more. Let's take it from that perspective.
On the pro court, Kyrie Irving scored a career-high 60 points, the most ever in the history of the Brooklyn Nets, and led the team to a 150-108 win over the Orlando Magic. Irving shot 20 for 31, including 8 of 12 from beyond the arc in 35 minutes on the court. This is NCN Sports.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
Russians may have to distance themselves from their country ahead of one of the biggest tennis tournaments there is.
Wimbledon organizers are having conversations with the British government about whether Russian tennis players should be allowed to compete at the tournament this summer. The British sports minister wants players to denounce President Putin over his invasion of Ukraine and says absolutely no one will fly Russian flags. Tennis groups around the world have condemned the war and canceled events in Russia and Belarus. There's no telling when they could make a decision on Wimbledon, but the top men's tennis player in the world is Russian. The tournament starts in late June. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
A person familiar with the situation says the Carolina Panthers have added depth to their backfield by agreeing to a 1-year, $2 million contract with free agent running back Dante Foreman. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Lou Gillum in the Blue Room. Your forecast today is going to be cloudy with rain. Highs around 60 degrees. Cloudy tonight. Maybe a chance of some thunderstorms. Lows around 50. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Still a chance of rain with tomorrow's highs around 70. Partly cloudy overnight. Lows around 50. Friday, partly cloudy. Scattered showers. Highs again around 70. Partly cloudy overnight. Showers. Lows around 50. Saturday, sunshine. Highs around 70. Overnight lows around 40. That's your forecast. 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton. And right now, under cloudy skies, 50 degrees at WCAB. 29 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's time now for the Word of Faith program. And with the program this morning is Christian and Katrina.
Good morning, Rutherford County. It's such a privilege and an honor to be back with you this morning. It's Christian and Katrina here. As we were talking a couple days ago about some things that God's been doing in our life, we knew that we had to come back on and share with you a powerful testimony and a testament to the power of God in our life and the keeping power of God in our life. In light of our last radio program that we shared with you, we knew we had to come back and share this testimony with you. Such an encouragement to us and to me personally to see where God has truly been working in our family's life and what He's done for us since we've been walking together. This testimony that you're going to hear today has to do with our 14-year-old daughter. God really moved mightily in her life and in our life. And we just felt like we had to come back and share that testimony with you. Katrina is going to share what God did for us probably the last 2.5 years. We've been going through this, and I hope and we believe that you're going to be encouraged and it will build your faith in God. Because like I said in my last program, God is no respecter of person. And if God will do it for us, He will do it for you. One thing that God, I want to start with a scripture. One thing that God really worked in our hearts as we were going through this. There's a scripture here in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 and 34. And again, I'll be reading out of the Amplified. Verse 33 says, "But first and most importantly, seek, aim at, strive after His kingdom, His righteousness, His way of doing and being right, the attitude and character of God, and all these things will be given unto you. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." And one thing God really taught me and Katrina was to seek first God's kingdom. And if we seek first God and His kingdom and His righteousness, God will take care of us. Everything we need, from what we wear, what we eat, the things we do every day, God is right there to help us. And we have truly seen that in our lives. And I think you'll see that as you hear this testimony today of how God has moved so mightily in our behalf.
So first I want to start out by reading a scripture. Like Christian said, about 2 years ago, our daughter, who was 12 years old at the time, started having quite a very serious physical situation. So in Hebrews 4, verse 12, it says, "For the word that God speaks is alive and full of power, making it active, operative, energizing, and effective. It is sharper than any two-edged sword, penetrating to the dividing line of the breath of life, the soul, and the immortal spirit, and of joints and marrow, of the deepest parts of our nature, exposing and sifting and analyzing and judging the very thoughts and purposes of the heart." And this scripture has really been such an anchor in our lives with what we're going to share. But I want to start too by saying, in that time was about 2 years ago. And even, now, our cry and my cry I'd been really crying out to Jesus, "God, I want to hear your voice clearly. Please teach me to hear your voice. And when I hear, to obey." There were And I'm sure everybody can relate to this, even situations at work where maybe you're busy and you hear that little thing inside of you that says, you need to do this, or you need to do that, or check this, and you just go beyond it. You don't stop and do it. And then maybe a week later you go back and realize, hey, I didn't do something right, or I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And you remember that God had spoken to you. And out of that place, I had really been crying out, God, teach me to hear your voice and to obey when you speak to me, and help me to recognize when you are speaking. And that had been a cry just in my heart every day, daily. So our daughter, Sophia, like I said, she was 12 years old at the time. She started having just some kind of very vague symptoms. She was very tired. She didn't have a lot of energy. Things that she used to do, she didn't really have the desire to do. Like, she didn't want to go outside and play with her brother. She just wasn't herself. And I knew Christian and I had talked, and we felt like it just wasn't right. Something didn't feel right, but we couldn't really put our finger on it. So at that point, we started just seeking God and just asking God, what is it? God, show us what is going on with Sophia. And we just kept praying and just watching her. And there were a couple, months after that, there was a few instances where she had woken up in the morning and she was very confused. She couldn't remember what she had done the night before, like simple things that she would have known, very significant things that she had done, like with her class, or she just couldn't remember. And she had headaches, and she just wasn't right. So at that point, we knew obviously something was wrong, and we just didn't know what it was. And like I said, the symptoms were so vague, and it only had happened a few times. Those particular symptoms, we just kept crying out because we knew we had to know exactly what was going on so we could get a hold of it. So in July, like I said, we had been crying out to God at night. When I would go to bed, Christian and I, we would just cry out, God, show us what is going on. So one night we'd had Bible as a family, and we were getting ready to go to bed, and Sophia was heading out our door to go to sleep, and the Spirit of God spoke to me loud. It was like he was standing right beside me, and he said, she needs to sleep in your room tonight. I didn't question it. I didn't think, well, that's kind of odd, because she never sleeps in our room. She always sleeps in her room. I just stopped and I said, why don't you go get your pillow and blanket, and you can sleep on our floor. Y'all can make a pallet. And they were real excited about it. So the children came in our room and laid down and went to sleep. Well, I was getting ready to go to sleep myself, and God spoke to me again and said, don't go to sleep. So again, I didn't question. I didn't think, oh, I'm so tired, because I was very tired. In fact, I could hardly hold my head up. I was very, very tired, but I obeyed. And so I laid awake for about 45 minutes. I was just praying, reading my Bible, and I was just getting ready to turn the light off. It was almost midnight, and I heard her yell, but I knew it wasn't like a normal yell.
It was more like a yelp.
Yeah, it was like a yelp.
A yelp.
It was a very different noise, and God said, get up. So I jumped out of the bed, and when I went around the corner, she was in the middle of a severely convulsive grand mal seizure. Well, of course, I woke Christian up. My son woke up. She seized for probably 5 minutes or more. It was a very long time. So we called 911. They came.
Well, first we called some ministers in our life, some friends that had been aware of what was going on with Sophia. Yeah. And we have a real good support system at our church, and lots of nurses, emergency room doctors, and our next door neighbor was a nurse, is a nurse, and she came over and was there with us. And more importantly than the physical ability in the medical realm was the stability that we had spiritually. You can imagine, that was the first seizure I had ever witnessed. And it wasn't, it was somebody in my family. It's my own daughter. And she was actually laying in my lap. And there was a lot going on in that moment. And we needed that spiritual anchor. Absolutely. To cry out to God. And that's one thing that we've been taught. I've been taught even before I came to North Carolina and started attending the Word of Faith. My parents stressed to me, when you have a need, and even when you don't think you have a need, we go to God. We cry out to God. And that was what we turned to, was Jesus, we need you. In this moment, we had to have him. And this happened in July of 2020. And of course, we're having to anchor her brother because he's witnessing this. He's, going through his emotional stress at that time, not knowing what's going on with his sister. And so since I had Sophia in my lap, Katrina was able to make the necessary phone calls to 911 and get emergency services alerted and on their way. And our minister, our pastor, you've heard many people reference her, if you've heard our previous programs, as grandmother, and that's what she is personally to me. When my own family abandoned me, she was there. She came over. She dropped everything and came straight over to the house to be that spiritual anchor that we needed to help hold us up and hold our hands. And she was actually one of the ones that was wondering if maybe what Sophia was going through was seizure activity. And it kind of alerted us to start researching that and being aware that, okay, these are what symptoms can occur with these seizures that maybe we're not witnessing that are happening at night.
So like he said, they all came. We went to the hospital, and once she came to, she started those symptoms that she was having. I mean, it took her a very long time to be able to speak. She couldn't use her arms. She couldn't move. She couldn't walk. Nothing. And that's when I realized at that moment that's what had been happening to her for several months, probably. So we went to the hospital. They could not find, and they did different tests. There was no tumor on her brain. Of course, that devil wants to say she has cancer. But when we were at the hospital, God spoke to me. She does not have cancer. And that was an anchor. That was another anchor, because God said, and I knew that God said. They didn't know what was wrong. So through a series of events, we actually, the next day, this was another miracle. We were able to get her in with a neurologist in Charlotte. They had first told us it would be months before we could get in. And I was able, actually, God quickened to me to call my doctor. I had just recently had back surgery, and they have a seizure unit at their office, so I felt led to call them. I called them. They told me who to call. We had an appointment that afternoon. So when we went there, the doctor confirmed that she had been having seizures, probably multiple she had, and they had only occurred in her sleep. He diagnosed her with epilepsy, because anybody that's ever had 2 or more seizures in their lifetime, that's automatically their diagnosis. Whether they have another one ever, it doesn't matter. She was started on some anti-seizure, anti-epileptic medication, and then we were going to do some other tests because we needed to get to the bottom of it. So after that, of course, we had several things that we went through. We had lots of different testing. We had MRIs, just trying to see exactly what was going on. So before, after she came home, for 2 weeks, I did not sleep. I mean, I knew at that point that she was sleeping with me. I was sleeping with her, because obviously, if I had not obeyed God, we would have never known what had happened. We would have never heard her, because the whole episode was totally silent, other than the one time she yelled out, but nobody would have heard her if you'd been sleeping. So I knew that she would need to sleep with somebody so that I could at least feel her if she were to have another one. But for 2 weeks, I laid in the bed and I could not sleep. I think I was awake. I might have slept 1 or 2 hours a night for the next 2 weeks. It was like a major spirit of fear tried to come after me. Every time I would close my eyes, all I would see was her having that seizure, and it would just grab a hold of me so that it would make me sick. And I was praying. I talked to Christian. We would pray before we went to bed. I shared with the ministers in our lives, because it was really a struggle, but I knew it was a demon coming after me. Right. So after about 2 weeks, I was laying in the bed and I was just crying out, God, please help me, because I knew that it was demonic. I knew it was spiritual. And the Spirit of God spoke to me again, and he said, Katrina, when Sophia was in her bed and she was having seizures and she was all alone and nobody knew about it, I took care of her. And he said, I'm going to take care of her and she's going to be okay. And the moment I heard those words, it totally broke the power of that fear. That spirit left me. No more fear. It didn't grip me. I didn't feel sick about it. Even if I talked about it, it did not affect me, because I had, like I said, the word that God speaks is alive and full of power, and it goes right in there and it breaks the power of any attack of the devil that tries to come. So we went and we had an MRI. It was actually very soon after that. And the only thing that came back abnormal on her MRI was she had what they call a pineal or a pineal cyst, which your pineal gland is a gland that is deep in your brain. It literally is pretty much in the middle of your brain, and it's a small gland about the size of a pea, and it's what controls sleep. So it produces melatonin that controls sleep. Well, she had a actually rather large cyst on her gland that was probably about 2.5 times the size of a gland, so equivalent to about a dime size. So in the report, it basically states that it was like an incidental finding. Typically, these cysts don't cause any problem. They wanted to look at it again in 6 months to make sure it was not what they call a pineal, or it's a pineocytoma, which is a pineal tumor. It is a benign tumor, but it can look the same as the cyst, but they felt like it was more of the cyst. The doctor was not concerned about it. He did not feel like it was what was causing her problem, but in my spirit and in Christian's spirit, it did not feel right. So anyway, 6 months later, we looked again. They did another MRI, and at that point, we'll say, you know, she started on her medicine. She had not had any more seizures once she started on her medicine. We also were able to get, I started doing some research, so did Christian, because we knew nothing about seizures, epilepsy, nothing. And God led us to an organization out of Chicago that actually purchased a epilepsy monitor for us. They're very expensive, but it allowed her to be able to sleep in her bed again. It hooks under her mattress, so it notifies us with a very loud alarm if she were to have any type of seizure in her sleep. So that was another place that God provided, and another anchor in our heart. So she had been stable, no seizures, no situations. We had another MRI in February of last year, and it was essentially the same. It had grown just a tiny bit. Still, it wasn't really discussed. It was still like it was not an issue. So in my heart, though, I just kept praying about it because it didn't settle right with me. You know, when you look it up, the medical world says most of the time these things don't cause a problem, but there is a chance that it can cause all kinds of different things. So I just kept it in my heart and just kept carrying it. And at that point, like I said, she wasn't having any seizures. Well, in this fall of last year, she had gone for just a routine eye exam, and she had been complaining of some headaches, and she was having a hard time seeing. So at her eye exam, her vision had seriously declined.
Like threefold.
Like major. She went from having to wear glasses just to see, like at school for reading, to like all the time. Like her left eye she could hardly see out of her left eye. And again, it hit my spirit again. This does not feel right to me. And I even mentioned it to the eye doctor, and I told her about the seizures and the cyst, and she felt like we needed to address it because a child's eyes should not decline in vision that quickly and that much in that short period of time. So we mentioned that, also to the doctor, and we were still keeping a hold of it. Then probably in December is when she started having the most severe neurological type symptoms. She was waking up in the morning very confused. She couldn't remember things again. Her short-term memory was very just simple things. She couldn't remember. She's very smart. She does very well in school, but she was struggling with things that she never had struggled before. She started having severe excruciating headaches all day long, every single day, that would hardly react to any kind or respond to any type of medication. She was having like numbness and tingling in her arms and her stomach. She was having weird episodes where she felt like she couldn't walk or she couldn't speak, even though she could, but it was like labored for her. She was having these very significant near passing out spells, like probably 10 or 15 times a day. She would say, "Mommy, I feel like I'm going to pass out." She never would pass out, but it was just all kinds of strange, very different symptoms. And again, like I said, her vision had gotten just worse and worse and worse. So at that point, we knew that obviously something was wrong. So we had been communicating with her doctor and let them know the different symptoms, and she had an appointment coming up. That was near the end of December. She had an appointment coming up the beginning of January, but it was like in my spirit, I knew we had to get a hold of something. Something just was not right, and I felt like we were missing something. So one day, previously when she was first diagnosed with the cyst, I had done some research and I had looked up the size of the cyst, and it said that typically ones that were her size actually were the ones that could cause problems. So God spoke to me one day and he said, look up the cyst again. So I looked it up again, and there were hundreds and hundreds of articles about it, different opinions, different things. But I went directly to an article from a doctor at MUSC, which is Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston. And basically the article was saying how neurologists and people in that field need to relook at these cysts because a lot of times they are causing problems. So he explained about a situation that he'd had with a particular patient that had come in. It was a young lady, and she was pretty much homebound. She had lost her career. She was totally debilitated. She couldn't work. She could hardly take care of her children. The only thing that they could find wrong on any of her tests was this cyst in her brain, on her pineal gland. So the doctor said that actually a resident doctor looked at him and said, how do you know it's not the cyst? Why don't you take it out and see what happens? So that's what they did. And 3 weeks later, when the lady came back for her follow-up, all of her symptoms had resolved. So at that moment, it just came so strong in my heart, we have got to get in to see this doctor.
And
because
just to reiterate something that Katrina said, it was vital to us to hear God's voice. When our daughter, you got to understand, we're sharing with you our part of this testimony, but our daughter was the victim here, and we had to keep her heart and her mind set. Not only did we have to keep our minds in the perfect peace of God and have the voice of God every day, but she had lots of questions. Why is this happening to me? What is going on with me? Why me? She learned through several visits that we went that there's a history of this in my family. And I had a first cousin who died with a brain tumor, and her brother was epileptic and still is. And so I've got those things coming at the devil's using at me as, okay, this is in your family. This is something she's going to have the rest of her life. And having to lock my heart into, what is God saying? What is God saying? And that was our mission throughout the last 2.5 years that we've been through this. What is God saying? And every day it was, I found this article. There's a doctor in San Francisco that's operated on 50 of these. Is God saying we need to go there? We were willing to do whatever we needed to do to find out what truth was. Being very respectful to her current neurologist. He's the expert, he's the specialist. But I told him, you see my daughter 20 minutes every 4-5 months. I live with her every day, and we know when something's not right. And so we're searching for answers because something's not right. And when Katrina found this article of this doctor at MUSC in Charleston, I knew there had to be somebody closer. Had to be somebody closer. We immediately got to work and started making phone calls and reaching out to the facility. And I'll let Katrina continue. I just wanted to reiterate that there's a common, the devil is the same. He comes after everybody, no matter what your situation is. If it's physical, if it's financial, if it's emotional, if it's problems at your job, problems in your family, problems with your marriage, problems with your children, he comes at everybody with the same tactic. His job is to steal, kill, and destroy. And he will use whatever he can to accomplish that mission. And he doesn't want us to know that there's a God who cares and a God who loves us and a God who will help us. And all God wants us to do is reach out to him so that he can be our Father and our God and put his will and his desire in our hearts.
So we, like Christian said, we immediately got to work. I sent him the article. I was so excited because I knew God did that for us. So I actually got on the phone with them, and unbeknownst to me, he got on the phone at the same time. So we were both talking to them, trying to see what we needed to do, if we needed a referral. I was wanting to see if we could get in with that particular doctor. Well, come to find out, he wasn't a pediatric doctor. He was the head of neurosurgery there, I believe, but for adults. So he would have looked at her case, but it could have taken months to get in. Well, at the same time, Christian's on the phone, and they had told him the same thing, and they said, why don't we get you in with the pediatric neurosurgeon here who actually trained under him, and she does the same thing. So that's what happened. That was a Tuesday. We had an appointment the following Monday in Charleston without a referral. That is another miracle. I mean, that just does not happen to get in like that with a specialist, a pediatric neurosurgeon. So we went to the appointment. She clearly was able to see on the MRI how the cyst was so large in that area that it was putting pressure on all of the vessels and things surrounding, one of which was what controls your vision. It was actually distorting the vessels. So that's why she was having all the symptoms. So the thing that they would have to do to be able to take care of it was actually surgically go in and remove it. So she explained the whole process. Of course, our 14-year-old daughter's sitting there. She's telling her, I'm going to have to, go through, cut your head open, take part of your skull, go through your brain, and take it out. But all we felt in there, it was like the presence of God was in that room. All we felt was the Spirit of God in there. And the peace of God, when we left there, all three of us, including Sophia, knew that that was what God said to do. Because we also knew that if we didn't do something about it, she was just going to continue. It was going to get worse and worse and worse. And eventually her symptoms would have been as debilitating as that young lady that I shared about. So we all had peace. Our pastor had peace. And when we all knew that God said, and like I said, Sophia had peace. I mean, that is major to have to go through that type of a surgery as a 14-year-old who's never had any kind of surgery like that. So we had the surgery scheduled, and we had it 3 weeks later. So we actually just had surgery this past Wednesday was 3 weeks ago. So we had it done on February the 16th. It was an absolute miracle. They told us originally that she may be in the ICU for 4 or 5 days, depending how she did. We were in ICU for 1.5 days. We were sent to a step-down unit for 1.5 days, and they discharged us home. She was doing so well. Sophia had no fear. She had no anxiety. She had no worry. All she knew was that God said. And if there was any little devil that tried to bring fear to her, I think twice she told me that she felt fear. And both times she went to Jesus, and God said to her, Sophia, it's okay. You're going to be okay. And it settled her. I mean, I was amazed to see how, and even us, I mean, even like I shared how the fear came at me when she started having the seizures. It was amazing because I had no fear at all. I don't remember any instance where fear tried to come after me. I wasn't worried. I wasn't concerned. I mean, it was a very serious surgery. It was a very risky surgery. That's one reason why a lot of doctors won't even mess with this particular thing, because of where it is and how serious it can be if they did one thing wrong. But we knew that God had a hold of her, that God had a hold of the doctor, and that she was going to be fine. So we had our surgery. She came home. And, since then, she went back to school a week later. All of her symptoms have resolved. Like I said, she had headaches so severe all day, every day. All she was doing was taking Tylenol and ibuprofen just to be able to get through her day. She's not had headaches. All symptoms have resolved. And like I had shared earlier about the scripture in Hebrews where it said God's word is alive and full of power. That is what anchored us and sustained us throughout this whole process, is the word of God. And every time, if there was any kind of little thing that tried to come, God would remind you of, this is what I said, this is what I said. And even back to where I had spoken, or I'd said that God had told me that she did not have cancer. They had sent it off for pathology just to make sure that it wasn't any type of tumor. Typically those are benign, but it would have been more follow-up and different things. But it did come back a cyst. We were so grateful. The doctor was so grateful, because a lot of times when they do these surgeries, they are not a cyst. They actually end up being a benign tumor. So she was so encouraged that it actually was a cyst. So it should never come back again, but it was a miracle. I mean, God is so faithful. When you cry out to him and when you trust in him with your life and you seek him, God hears and answers you. And at every point, God will give you his word to anchor and sustain you.
That's right. And the testimony that Sophia was to the doctors, of all the cysts that this doctor's removed, she said she's never had a patient that bounced back so quickly and did so well and was able to go home so soon. And it's just a testament of the love and the keeping power of God. And even at her follow-up appointment, the doctor was just, Sophia, I'm amazed at how well you're doing. And it's been a real testament to me and Katrina, and just to see the faithfulness of God. And every time I ever hear a story where God's done something for somebody, the faith that it builds in me in God, that He's on the throne. That's right. He is still in charge of this world. It doesn't matter what's going on today. God is in charge. God is in control. And our heart's cry when we were talking about what we wanted to share with you, and there's so much more that we could say, was that you would be encouraged and that it would build your faith in God, and that God's no respecter of person. Like, I can't stress that enough. If God will do it for us, He will do it for you. And as we wrap up today's program, just be encouraged. You can listen to all of our previous radio programs on our website at www.wordoffaithfellowship.org, or right here on the WCAB Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Thank you and have a great day.